All right, let's talk about turning those massive 5-year ambitions into something you can do today, effortlessly. We're going to walk through a coaching playbook that does exactly that. So if you've ever set a huge goal, got all excited, and then found yourself right back at square one a few weeks later, this is for you. This is the system that finally breaks that cycle.
I absolutely love this quote because it flips the script on everything we've been taught about success. We think it's all about having bigger, bolder goals. But the truth? The real truth is that your success is determined by your daily habits, those repeatable processes that you follow, whether you feel like it or not.
You know the feeling, right? That burst of New Year's energy, a brand new goal, you start off strong, and then life happens. And a few weeks later, you're exactly where you started. When you rely on motivation, you're pretty much signing up to start over forever. But what if the problem isn't you? What if it's not a lack of discipline, but just the wrong playbook entirely? So here's our game plan. This is the 5-step playbook we're going to build together, right now. First, we'll diagnose why our goals fail us. And then, step by step, we're going to build a complete system, from that big vision all the way down to the daily habits and fail-safes that make your success feel almost inevitable. Okay, first things first, the diagnosis. Why do we keep falling short? Well, here's the thing. For most of us, it's not a discipline problem. It's a system problem. We're trying to win a marathon using a sprinter's strategy. It just doesn't work. The science on this is just so fascinating. Think about your willpower like the battery on your phone. Every decision you make, every time you resist a cookie or a distraction, you're using up a little bit of that battery. It's why judges are actually more likely to deny parole later in the day. Their decision-making fuel tank is running on empty. So trying to run your long-term goals on willpower alone, it's like trying to drive across the country on a single tank of gas. You are literally fighting your own biology. And that really gets to the core of the issue. See, goals are temporary. I mean, what happens after you hit the goal? They also totally rely on your mood, which, let's be honest, is all over the place. Systems, on the other hand, they're designed to be permanent. They run on autopilot. They focus on the process you follow every day, not some far-off finish line. So here is the main takeaway. Goals are absolutely essential for setting your direction. You got to know you're heading to Los Angeles, right? But the system, that's the car, the map, the gas in the tank, and the act of driving that actually gets you there. The problem is, most of us spend all our time daydreaming about the destination and zero time building the vehicle. All right, so let's start building that vehicle. Before we can engineer any daily habits, we need that destination. So this is step 1. We're going to define your North Star, a super clear 5-year vision that's going to guide every single thing you do. And here's a really simple way to get that clarity. First, you've got to make it a SMART goal. Specific, measurable, all that good stuff. A cool trick is to actually ask an AI tool to help you refine it. Tell it what you want and let it ask you clarifying questions. You just answer honestly. And you'll know you found it when it feels both incredibly exciting and just a tiny bit terrifying. That little bit of anxiety, that's usually a sign that you're on the right track. Okay, so you have your destination locked in. Now you need a powerful daily shot of fuel to keep you going, especially on the days when you just don't feel like it. This is where we build what I like to call your motivation engine. Now, this is so important to understand. Your brain processes images way, way faster and more effectively than it processes text. I mean, just picture a big pink elephant balancing on a tiny red ball. See? I just put that picture in your head. We can use this exact trick to our advantage by giving our brain a crystal clear image of the future we want.
And the best tool for this is a vision board. But we're not talking about cutting pictures out of magazines here. No. You're going to use an AI image generator to create a photorealistic picture of your future self having achieved that goal. Then you make that image your phone's wallpaper. You will see it hundreds of times a day. And every single time, it trains your brain to look for opportunities to make that picture a reality. It's like turning your brain into a heat-seeking missile for your goal.
All right, now we get to the heart of the entire playbook. This is where we take that massive 5-year goal and we break it down into a tiny, repeatable daily system that gives you a win every single day. This is the secret, right here. Real success isn't built on some heroic one-time effort. It's built on the small, consistent, and honestly kind of boring things you do every single day. The person who really makes progress isn't the one who's always excited. It's the one who learns how to show up even when it's boring. So how do we actually do this? We just deconstruct the big ambition. Your goal isn't to write a novel.
It's to write 50 words today. Your goal isn't to get in shape, it's to do one push-up. The daily system needs to be so easy, so ridiculously small, that it actually feels kind of silly to skip it. This totally removes the friction. It makes just getting started the hardest part. And to put this on autopilot, we use a simple trick called if-then planning. You're basically creating a little algorithm for your brain. The research on this is incredible. It works because it completely takes the debate out of the equation. You're no longer asking yourself, do I feel like doing this? The decision is already made. If the cue happens, then the action follows. It's simple, it's clear, and it is so powerful. Now let's be real. Life gets messy. You're going to get sick, work is going to get crazy, and some days your motivation will be at zero. A fragile system shatters on the first bad day. A resilient system, well, that's built with fail-safes. See, the most powerful systems are designed for your worst day, not your best one. And that's where your bad day protocol comes in. The number one rule is never break the chain, but you can always adjust the intensity. So you can't run 3 miles? Fine, walk for 10 minutes. Can't write for an hour? Just write 1 sentence. This keeps the habit alive, it protects your momentum, and it reinforces your identity as someone who shows up no matter what. And finally, no system is going to be perfect right out of the box. To make sure it grows and evolves with you, you need a really simple process for review and improvement. This is your weekly audit. Once a week, that's it. For just 10 minutes, you're going to ask yourself 3 simple questions. What worked this week? Where did I feel resistance or friction? And what's one tiny tweak I can make to make next week just a little bit easier? This isn't about judging yourself. It's about improving the machine. A good system is meant to serve you, not the other way around. So there you have it, the whole 5-step playbook. You set a clear direction with your North Star. You fuel it every single day with that vision board. You make progress inevitable with your tiny engineered wins. You protect it from all the chaos with your bad day protocol. And you make it smarter and better over time with that simple weekly audit. You know, the difference between people who dream about things and people who actually achieve them is pretty simple. Achievers don't just stare at the destination, they get obsessed with building the vehicle that's going to get them there. So the real question for you isn't what you want to achieve 5 years from now. The real question is, what is the one tiny system you can build today to start driving in that direction?